Are you thinking about marrying? Have you been wondering if marriage is right for you or if marriage isn't right for you? There are numerous factors to consider before marrying, and you want to make a decision that you will never regret. Join us and learn some steps and ideas in this episode, Is Marriage Right for You? With Maria Romano. Stay tuned.
Well, this topic of conversation today is marriage right for you? Now, we all know that I'm a wedding officiant here in Las Vegas, and obviously I marry quite a number of couples. As a matter of fact, I'm probably going to hit close to over 4,000 wedding ceremonies in my career, and I started about 11 years ago. But you know what? As you all know, I'm also a relationship coach, and there's a question that I ask my clients when they're getting ready to get serious: is marriage right for you? And I'm asking you, is marriage right for you? Is marriage right for your relationship? So I'm going to share with you some great information about this. So listen to the very end, and we're going to discuss if marriage could be for you or marriage might not be for you. So let's first start off with statistics. As we know, statistics are when couples get married, 50% ends up in divorce. Okay, that's right. So 1 out of 2 marriages ends up in divorce. And that doesn't include couples that stay married and they're estranged from each other because they don't necessarily want to split all their assets. And that does happen, especially when you have accumulated, a certain amount of assets later on in life. You don't necessarily want to give it up. So that's the first thing. So remember, eyes wide open, that 1 in 2 marriages wind up, unfortunately, parting ways. And also, people that get married a second time or a third time, that percentage goes up to about 70%. And that's why it's important that you really take a step back from your relationship if you're ready to get to the next level and you want to get married. Now, there are some of you out there that, you believe that if you're going to live with somebody that you should get married. That is the traditional way of, they say, doing things. That's what people did years ago. And that's a different generation. That's more the baby boomer, the silent type, and the great generation. And that's been passed down from family because family teaches us that good moral values are getting married. Religion teaches us that, right? That you need to get married if you're living together. However, let's take a look and dive into your millennials and younger, right? Now, millennials, which make up a very large portion of the demographics today, they meet, they move in together, they have children, and then maybe they get married. Okay, maybe then they get married. Now, as we know from other generations, we look at that and frown and go, oh, they're having kids, they're not married. But you know what? Who are we to judge? And I say we because I'm from the baby boomers generation. And what happens here is, maybe they are doing the right thing. Who knows? History will tell us as we go back and look at the different generations and we look at statistics. However, as when you are dealing with the situation where you're ready to, maybe you've been living with a person for a while and you decided, okay, you want to get married. As long as you spent some time with that individual, maybe you moved in with that person, or maybe you didn't. I should preface that. Not everybody moves in together, but spending a fair amount of time. And what I mean by that is, when you're starting to date somebody, and you're in those early honeymoon stages of a relationship, nothing goes wrong. You're looking through, rose-colored glasses. You think the relationship is fabulous. However, 90 days, 120 days, and beyond is when people's true colors, as they say, start to surface. You start to notice little things about them. Maybe they have habits that sort of maybe are a pet peeve with you. Okay, so make sure you spend quite a bit of time with that person. Travel with them a bit. Maybe you might not live with them, but traveling gives you a lot of insight because you want to know how somebody, not how they are in a situation where everything is going along smoothly, but how do they react when there are bumps in the road or detours? Did they get angry? or they're the type of person that says, okay, let's figure this out. Let's see what we can do to rectify the situation, and look at it from a very mature standpoint and viewpoint. But there are still individuals out there, and this is why you need to spend time, that don't necessarily react that way. They become impatient, right? They get frustrated. And before you know it, it shows. So you need to think about spending time with an individual, and it does not happen overnight. And I always tell this, and I tell my clients, Rome wasn't built in a day, and your mother waited 9 months for you. So spend quite a bit of time with that person. It doesn't matter how old you are. I know that there are people that hit a certain age and they have to fast track the relationship. And I say, no, no, no. Take your time before you decide to get married, to make a legal commitment. And it's not a month, it's not 2 months. You know what? Sometimes it might take a year or 2 years or 3 years, whatever it is. Make sure that you're comfortable. And if you do decide to take the plunge, if this is the way you both want to go, make sure that you both have whatever assets, if you accumulated assets, if you're a little older, that they're protected the way you want them protected. And if you're going to buy a home together, make sure you have things set up properly so that if something were to happen to one of you, you make it easy for your heirs to deal with. Okay. Just because you're in a relationship and you decide to get married, you might have some assets. Don't leave everything up to your heirs to take care of. Make sure you have everything in order. But most of all, before you move forward, make sure that individual is somebody that you enjoy being with, and not just through all of the highlights, but also any challenges that you might face in your life. And if you're able to deal with that, and you find that accepting, and it's fine with you, and it's fine with the other party, then you feel you want to get married, then go take the plunge. So I hope you found this video to be helpful. And as I always say, please, everybody, remain healthy and safe. And until next time, and as I always say, spread love.